Alrighty, so in today's video, we're going to be going through Sketchbook 11, touring it, saying goodbye to it, and I guess just commemorating the good, the not so good, and the definitely very, very ugly, and digging through this back pocket from hell that I have. So, let's just get into it. Hi, hey, hello. If you're new here, my name is Rain. If you're not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you stopping on by to my little corner of the internet. I've been in Sketchbook 11 for not quite a year now, and I'm really excited to say goodbye to it, but just a precursory little bit of disclaimers. I have a lot of pets. If you hear the parakeets, they're gonna parakeet. I have a senior dog. I have 12 baby chickens in my house currently, and my cats like to come and go. This isn't a voiceover video like I usually do, so I can't just like walk away to a different room because this is the only one I have space really. And my floor is actually closer to the parakeets. If you've been here a while, you have seen the sketchbook tours that happen on my bedroom floor. So they're going to make noises. If you don't like the animal sounds, you might want to step away now. I can't make the animals quiet. And I don't really want my parakeets to stop talking to each other. They're best boys. So that's that. And additionally, if you have the time to watch all the way through to the end of this video, I would really appreciate it. And if you see a sketch you really like, note the timestamp. I'd love to know what you take away from the sketchbook the most, especially for those who are just like new, like, and actually diving into the unhinged abyss of the sketchbook, just completely blinded there. That's terrifying. But let's just get into it. So, this is the first sketchbook I really didn't feel like creating any art for the front of, really. I doodled in some, like, pen thingies. This all fading. I mean, the sketchbook 11's completely gone, basically. Like, very faintly there. I'm going to put a paint pen over it and leave it to dry after this video, just so that I can have it look a little bit more distinctly on my shelf. I don't have any other sketchbooks in this color currently, but I got plenty of decades to go for that to change, so might as well do it now, right? You never know. It did end up awfully thick. I do not have a Talens sketchbook next to me to like show what this used to look like, but it's definitely not happy, and you can see the pages are kind of like falling out. I originally wanted to do a Moleskine sketchbook next and do a Leuchtturm Talens Moleskine sketchbook comparison video of the 5.5 by 8 sizes. However, the YouTube poll declared that I would be working in a big sketchbook for the first time since I quit art for 2 years after a horrible art class experience, and I don't think this is actually 9 by 12. This feels massive. It doesn't even fit in my usual recording space, so it's gonna be wild, but I will be going back into a Leuchtturm sketchbook for no reason other than the fact that I had this. I'm not entirely sure that the paper is for me, but that decoration video will be next week, and I'll like swatch things in it because I don't trust sketchbooks to maintain the same paper, and a swatch page is a great first page, which is precisely why I don't have the first page syndrome. I just watch stuff. I put the sticker thingies. Usually I put some of my extra art goals or like videos I want to do on a like sticky note in here, and then when I go through it I like throw it away, or I don't throw it away, I burn it. But this is kind of like how my first spread usually looks. It's very rarely something neat and pretty. I think having a swatch test page is great. It very much gets rid of that kind of like, oh no, I'm gonna ruin the first page. This is the first thing you see. The first thing you see is the fact that I have never had a crank pen that didn't dry out within 5 minutes of existing in my life. So, thanks, crank, you suck. I'm kidding. I'm sure crank pens work for some people. But this sketchbook ran from June 18th, 2024 to what I think is about 4/4/25. I'm really not sure the date I finished it. I kind of guessed that date today. I usually try and use my scratch paper because I hoard like little pieces of paper that could be useful, but probably won't ever be. And I try to make a little collage thing, just have some fun, doodle. I really don't want anything to be particularly high stakes in my sketchbook. This should not be glued down, but maybe it is. It is not glued down. Yep. Just welcome to Sketchbook 11. My goal for this one was to plan more finished work, design more OCs, use more color, and do more character drawings. So I'm not sure I succeeded that. This is an Akuma Press sticker. I actually know this one, but really not super interesting at all. So when and the sketchbook is already like dying right here. Oh geez, don't get worse. These pages are like tearing up right here. Not happy to be alive. But when I didn't know what to do in the start of my sketchbook, like I just like, it wasn't like a fear, I just like had no inspiration. I posted a little poll on Instagram. I can't draw Pokemon. I really wish people would stop asking me to draw Pokemon. It's just embarrassing. Like, I can't. I don't know what it is. This is not representative of my art, I swear. Hellboy, never watched it. Aphrodite from Hades, you know, fun shenanigans. Just like a little way to break in the paper, get used to it, get a feel for it, see how things were jiving. It's really not that interesting, personally. I guess all of my bad Pokemon drawings are fun to laugh at, to be very fair. Poor Cyndaquil, I'm sorry. But other than that, nothing super snazzy. Testing out how highlighters kind of absorbed into the page. This paper is pretty thick, but I still don't trust any paper to actually be honest with me about things like that. So testing highlighters, seeing how it handled the kind of like, the dampness is not the right word, but the kind of like water-based quality of a highlighter, seeing if it buckled, it didn't. And a little pencil sketch. I really like this paper. It's not good for markers, to be fair, but like, let me see if I can find what I'm talking about. Like something that's like super obviously white. Maybe I don't have anything in here that's like a super blatant example of what I'm trying to talk about. This might kind of work. My lighting is not really good in my room, but you could see kind of where I put white down. That is brighter than the actual tone of the paper. It's not a stark white. So it very much is like nice to work on for someone who really likes a bright highlight. I don't like working on stark white paper if I can avoid it. It's got a nice yellow hue to it, which I personally really enjoy. If you don't like that, don't touch this, but it's my thing. So Undertaker from Black Butler, Scaramouche / Wanderer from Genshin. I think I named my Wanderer Estrellas. I don't remember. I haven't played Genshin in ages for some reason. I don't know why I haven't felt compelled. This was my first time, I think, using Arctic's paint pens ever. Very much like a goofy little experience, but it definitely worked out. It was the learning experience I needed for it. I think I have a video when I first started the sketchbook on my channel doing this, but I'm not 100% certain. I think this is one of my favorite pages in the entire sketchbook. I'm not even a huge fan of this ballpoint pen sketch, but this chicken and this girl with like the different pink hues, I really like this page. I like the way it came together. I think that it's just very simple, but I like the contrast a lot. And I want to do more stuff like this in the future, but I just like don't feel like I organize my sketches in a way that like is interesting like this. I feel like I'm a little bit more all over the place. Like this. Like it's just all random chaos, right? Some sketches under sketches. I mean, usually if I cover something up, it wasn't like really interesting to me, and I thought that like the sketch I put over it was like more entertaining. Her neck is broken, but that's fine. She's living her best life. It's chill. This is also one of my favorite spreads. All of my favorite spreads are early. I don't know what happened to me. I really like these sketches of my plant zombies. I miss them so much. I've been doing a lot of other doodles and studies recently that have been like pulling me away from my original universe of plant zombies, and I really want to return to it. Um, the more I look at the sketch, like the more I realize like really bad anatomy is happening right here, but it's still a personal favorite of mine. I really like how I rendered it. Yeah, I really like this in everything except for like her face is totally messed up, like different sizes. I know originally it was partially intentional because the mushrooms are kind of growing out, but in retrospect, I think it just makes her look a little bit goofy. But I don't know. That might just be me. I think I was trying to do like a impressionistic interpretation of Alucard's like glasses from Hellsing Ultimate. I don't think it reads as that, but I'm also not entirely sure anymore. I really like some of these pen sketches, but one thing is this paper smears really bad. It's super smooth. Not super smooth, definitely not like a marker paper smooth, but it doesn't have a lot of grit. So even when I think a pen is dry and good, it usually still smudges a bit, but it could be worse. I just try not to use like super juicy pens like a like Pentel hybrid in it. And I try to go for something a little bit more like a classic Bic pen, and it kind of just solves all of those issues. I prefer Bic pens anyway because they're a dry pen, and so I can build my layers up a little bit better. And they're usually always dead, so it kind of like it always starts drier, and it just kind of like gives me the space I need to like build up those layers a lot softer, and I don't have to worry about applying too much pressure. So, I don't know. It just allows me to have like more interesting kind of stroke qualities, you know? So, the super darks take a little bit more pressure to get to, but you can like still get those fine lines. It's a lot harder with a super juicy pen, so not really my thing personally, but I did it a couple times. I know this video pretty well. This is my video on why making bad art is good for you. Her hand is from the Abyss. Don't know what it looks like under that. That is glued down pretty well. But I don't really have a lot to say other than the fact that I was in a horrible art slump at the beginning. Not the beginning. At the end of the year and the beginning of this year. And it just really was consuming me for a minute there. And that's when I usually make spreads like this, where it's just absolutely balls to the walls, throw it at the fan till it sticks. It just, until something comes out how I want. I also really like this spread. This is one of my favorite spreads. Look at that. Look at this. Beautiful. I love this spread. I really like these two thumbnails. I do want to turn them into finished illustrations. I think I also want to turn this into a finished illustration one day. I kind of have a sketch like this somewhere. She's a lot more like compact. I never actually colored it though, so maybe I should tear that out and color it one of these days. I know I need to crop it because she's a bit too skewed to one side of the page. Really like this adorable vampire girl. Vivian. I don't know what Vivian's carrying. Probably a sack of potatoes or something. I don't know. Vivian's carrying something. Yeah, I really want to make these two thumbnails like a real sketch. I just have been having a hard time translating my thumbnails to a sketch recently. I'm a little bit nervous about messing those up. L from Death Note, some anatomy studies. This was when I was going down for a rheumatology appointment, so I was really just not vibing with life. We went to a botanical garden. It was awful. Like, seriously. terrible. I don't think they had a single botanist hired there. Their plants were all dying, diseased, suffering. It was terrible. But I found this plant that has this really cool, obvious texture at the bottom, and I sketched it while I was on the car ride back. I really wish I finished this sketch. I just never did. You can't really see her. She got really faint over time. But I really liked this sketch, and I wish I would have done something with one of these two color palettes, I think. These were the two I think that stuck with me the most. And I'm kind of sad that I never really did something with it. But I guess that's probably just like a future me problem. Some sketches of Harvey from Stardew Valley. Hey, I marked when I did this. August. Nice. I still like this sketch. I evened out the background digitally because it was really just streaky. This paper requires a lot of layers for paint pens to look good and not super streaky. Because I started using paint pens in this sketchbook, I can't really speak on if that's a consistent paint pen thing or if it's just this paper. So I don't know with confidence, but I just evened it out digitally because I didn't want to waste it on a doodle that was supposed to be a colored pencil experiment. Chicken. These were cutouts from my color theory class that I took. Eris, that meme of a cat wearing a croc. Eris. That was probably also supposed to be Eris. Just some doodles, honestly. Eris is only supposed to have white hair with a red streak. I don't know why she keeps ending up with mostly blue hair. I've just been messing up my white rendering. I learned to draw fish. I didn't learn to draw fish. These are obviously not good fish. So I clearly didn't actually succeed in learning. But I got this thumbnail that I really, really like for an underwater plant person. And I definitely want to see this become a reality one day. Other than that, the fish are not super good. The paint pen wash is super faint, really hard to see, and it kind of just looks smudged. You know, I like when I critique myself and then I like the sketch later. The hips probably are a lot higher than they should be, but I really like the pose and I don't really mind the higher up hips in the anatomy. I think that's one thing that has actually been negatively impacting my art recently is I've gotten too critical about the anatomy in my art and trying to make it look accurate, and I'm kind of almost stepping away from my art style and doing that with my elongated limbs that I'm a really big fan of and the way I proportion things, which has been a bit of a not super great time. I never finished this. It's whatever. Wow, what is this coming from? Oh, yeah, that was an explosion. I remember that. This was supposed to be a chest, like a singular breast. And I was going to do a tonal study, but then I just never brought in the skin tone. I just left it orange. I really like this page. Look at her. She's adorable. I love her. I want to draw her and make her a proper character one of these days. And I want to bring a character with one of these shaped noses into my universe because I like drawing them a lot. I just don't have any characters where I drew their side profile enough that I kind of committed. This was supposed to be a self-portrait of me as one of my plant people. It doesn't really look like me. I talk about it in the video where I go over it that this is not really what I look like even at the time. I think a big part of that, oh, I cut this. Whoa, that's chill. At the time, I don't think I really looked like this much anymore. My hair's been a lot shorter for a while now, and I don't think my shoulders are that broad. They might be broader though. It just doesn't quite hit home on me, but that's fine. I'm tearing this off. I can't help myself. But this is a bit, I don't know. I have more piercings now. I really need to redo it. Yeah, these pages are glued together because I blew up a pen on it. and it did not go well. This is just a little, like, super quick sketch for a pose I wanted to try. I never finished anything with it. I needed to design a best boy for my 3D drawing class. He did not end up looking like this. I made a shark Roomba instead, but I almost 3D modeled him. Nameless and Vivian. Vivian, 100% the dad of the group. He's like 350-ish years old. And Nameless is 25, 26-ish. You know, she's very new to the undead thing. Very reckless. And Vivian is very much like overprotective Victorian dad. Like, feminist? Yes. Like, doesn't approve of the oppression that occurred for women in his time period. But, like, also doesn't quite gather that they're not completely fragile, so it's just like, I will be your stepstool, madam. Love Vivian. But he also hates everybody. This was an experiment of seeing how well water-based pens, like, I don't think I used this one, but like the Zig Writer pen would go over paint pens. I gave it a 3 out of 10. It definitely blends the paint pens and makes it a bit muddier, but it's not a completely unusable approach to trying to add lighting after the fact. Eris. This is not Eris. One of my collage pages, I wasn't feeling good. This is probably from a YouTube thumbnail, and I just glued it in. I tend to do that. And I assume somewhere under here I drew a cat and it did not go well. There's this ear, probably. I hope that's not supposed to be a cat. I like these collage spreads. It's been making me feel a lot better about my art to be able to do these spreads where I don't care about creating art and I just like glue in things, write things, doodle. More Eris spreads. I swear I don't have a favorite OC. It's just that Eris is like super fun to draw. Like the general shape of her is very nice. And so it's really hard not to just like want to, you know, like just like boink. You know, I like her little like circle eyebrows. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about the swoop and the hair that goes like this way, and the fun like ear thingies that she has. I don't know. This is obviously a horrible doodle, but you know, there's just something about her shape. And I really like how the like more kind of slanted, not slanted, but like slim eyes kind of like argue with the circles that are on other sides of her face, because I always have my cheek circles that I add, but her circular eyebrows and then her big ears come down around here. I very much like the sharpness in contrast to the nice like swoop to that she has to her. So I don't know. I really like doodling her a lot as a original character. Thumbnails, and like some thumbnail studies. So these two are studied from Nana. Not Nana. What? Perfect Blue, sorry. Planning my witch character. A Jekyll and Hyde thing. I literally can't translate. Oh wait, maybe I can translate this thumbnail. Wait, maybe I can. Wait, maybe it is communicating with me. If I remember correctly, you can go back and find the video if you really want to. This is hair. This is face. This is probably a hat. Was it a jester hat? I'm pretty confident it wasn't, but that's what it looks like. So we're going to go with it, and we're going to just redefine this thumbnail really quickly. There we go. There, look, it almost looks like I knew what I was doing, and you can kind of read it now. This was where, like, it really started falling apart. So this is structural integrity. Sketch of Eris I never finished. Who's surprised? Nobody. some studies of me in a dress. Hal from Hal's Moving Castle. My hair is also like not this long then either. I don't know what's up with me. I give myself longer hair than I actually have. Some Sally face doodles, and then this is where I decided to tape in most of my random anatomy doodles that I didn't just burn. So these are all just figure drawings. Like, most of the time I just burn them though, recently, just because sometimes I tape them in if I really like how the page looked. But I just have not been keeping them because the sketchbook is not holding together. I didn't want to make it any thicker than it already was. This was a experiment. I'm really forgetting the N when I'm talking. This was an experiment to kind of try and figure out a good way to do mixed media ghost textures. So I tried tissue paper and seeing how paint laid over it. Then this clear sticky note. I have my notes on it too, but overall I didn't end up going along with that drawing and like figuring it out for Drawtober. Here's my elf girl. I really just wanted to do stars, I guess. She's a cute little vampire. I think this is the most like obviously like, oh geez, my sketchbook is dying kind of spots. Like I could just like snip this and everything goes to hell, right? I tried to tape it, but it just kept fraying more and more, so it is what it is. I really like this spread. I really like these pen drawings, and like the way that she ended up so yellow toned through the paper was really fun for me. Her body's elongated and her head's a bit small. I'm pretty sure the body being elongated was intentional. I don't think the head being microscopic was, but that's fun. I really like this spread. So this is contortion. Some people really said I did a good job of like exuding and like kind of approaching the feeling of like chronic illness. I don't really know. I still feel like I could have done it a lot better for contortion and kind of like the manipulation of the body. And I don't know. I want to make it more creepy and do it larger scale and have a lot more of those darker darks one day. This one I never finished, but I do really like it. And I do want to finish it again. But I don't want to do it here because I really like the way this pink leg just looks, and I don't really want to ruin it. Like, I like it, and I don't want to add to it. I just want to leave it as it is. So that's why that never got finished. Here's a little zombie girly living her best life. I got a multi-pen. Can I find it, though? Yeah, here. I have another one that I think is over here. Not these. They're like the little pens that have like multiple colors on them. And I just wanted to doodle. They make me happy. That's all I got them for. This makes me happy because I know it was made with these. That was all it was for. This, I really want to make into a big illustration one day. I just didn't. This is also a really bad spot. Fibro Friends. I kind of want to make a shirt design called Fibro Friends of just like the like dying next to each other with the like the collective like shared needed things, but not like quite touching, just like we're dying together in this space, besties kind of thing. Oh my god, I've been talking for so long and I'm not even halfway through. I'm so sorry, this video is gonna be so long. Asterion is not glued down. Hey, he was gonna be a wholesome sketch. More Fibro Friends doodles. 2024 art review. Today I learned my feelings never mattered. That was a piece I made about one of my art professors. If you're watching this, sorry, not sorry. You hurt my feelings. Here's a Polaroid of my cat, William. I don't know what this was supposed to be. Oh, this is really good masking tape. What? Oh, okay. We're not picking that up. I don't know what this was supposed to be. It was just supposed to be something, and that's all that matters. Hello, my name is Human. It was one of my favorite... Oh, my brain, where'd it go? Highly suspect songs. Eris as a witch. Eris as a witch again. Hot ghost girl. I also want to, like, expand on this girl's design and just make her my, like, icon sexy Halloween thing. I like the big sneakers and the big thighs with the chunky sweater over top. So sweater, ghost things. This page is also like tearing up a little bit. Willwood, pen doodles. I really like this sketch. I don't know that I can pull off this art style super well, but I really like the sketch and I want to add it to my repertoire. This was a harpy I drew for a like Halloween event at my college, right? Remotely at my college. I am nowhere near Vermont. That's my eyeball. That's also my hand, except my hand is obviously not slim and very knuckly and dying. Okay. Some Crollo doodles. I don't know what's up with this one. I really like this sketch. This is the sketch that turned into the drawing I was talking about earlier that never got inked. I think I do have that bad drawing that I want to get rid of. So here's the inked, never got inked as in like never like markered and then rendered, but here is the like line art for it, and I really like this, which is actually probably why I never finished it. I might scan it and make it a coloring page and finish it digitally first so I can explore color ways, but really like that one. Pen doodles. I want to work on exploring amputation and like dying or decaying limbs with plant mobility aids one of these days. And this was kind of my first foray into kind of trying to think about how I want to approach that. It's just doodles. It's just hands. This was when I was designing sketches for Loki based on a musical. I really do need to finish those drawings. I like them a lot. I was exploring my personal design for Nyx. I never actually finished designing how I would make her look, but that was my first approach. Some thumbnails, some of the sticky tabs I used to mark textbooks for my students. William, Cruz, Fizzgig. There's just goofy pen studies and pen fixes in here. I really like this doodle for some reason. I don't know why. This is a bunch of gesture drawings overlaid over each other. I really like the way it looks when I just kind of lay a bunch of gestures over each other and then kind of like color in like the gappy gaps where they're not touching at all to try and separate them. I was having a weird issue with my diagnoses for my mental health, so I made this spread to kind of just like document that. Jinx, Powder, Cloud Girl, I don't know who this is. They're there. I really like this Jinx sketch. I really need to figure out Jinx in my style. That's what I did a little bit in my last video. I was exploring sketches of Jinx in different art styles to try and figure out how I want to draw her and like kind of get more familiar with her character design. This is my experience on Trazodone. We'll get to that. I really like this sketch. I don't like this one at all, but I really like this one. I need to sneeze. That's not great. I'm going to try not to. I never stuck with this character design, but I really liked the big, fun hair. But she was going to be one of my plant zombies, and I never just, like, committed to finishing her design. Bunny Girl. I hate this. I know I said cute, but I hate her. I love this spread, too. This is awful. We're not talking about that. Colors are super fun, and I think they're really good in stark contrast to these pencil drawings and then like this dying green pen. But I really like this one too for some reason. I've been having like a really bad artistic identity crisis, obviously. That's what all of these notes have been about so far. I really wish I would have finished this sketch too. This was a concept design. These were some gestures. I didn't want to do bog bodies on this side of the page next to this one. because I was hoping this would not turn out awful and I would finish it. I didn't finish this one. So I just put gestures here when I finished Bog Bodies. I'm considering cutting Bog Bodies out of this sketchbook and putting like a sticky note saying Bog Bodies was here, just so that I can preserve it better in a safer environment with some of my others. I also kind of want to go back and take my piece Eurydice out of its original sketchbook and move it to that kind of safer environment. I really like this page of gestures. I really like the yellow on red. This one, don't care as much about. This was a warm-up page and then it just like progressed. But this is about when January started. I think I did these right before the New Year's, and then this was January. I really like this sketch. I don't know, she's a bit lopsided, but I find it charming. And as a plant zombie, she's kind of cute. Eris. I'm not sure who she is. I think this is the last time that character from earlier ever appears. Can I even find her again? I get so lost in my own sketchbook most of the time. When was that? Where did you go? Sorry, my pages also stick together a lot, so it can be kind of hard to... You probably remember who I'm talking about. What is going on? I'm so confused. No. 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 Here she is. I think this is the last time this girl ever appears in my sketchbook. So she's gone now. Evaporated. Deceased. Victor from Arcane. Some girls. That's it. I don't know. I can't tell you. I really like this sketch though. I scanned it. It's one of the things I scanned out of this sketchbook. I didn't really care about what I had on this page, and I really wanted to put my concept design for 3D modeling that I did in here for my cuckoo clock design, my original one. Then the one after that is back here. I really wanted to like tape these in and have them exist, so, you know. I really wanted to do Bog Bodies 2. It never worked out. I never finished Bog Bodies 2 because the paper and I were not liking each other. The paint pen is super glossy, if you can see it like picking up the light. But I just wasn't laying down correctly, and I'm not sure what was happening. So I just decided I'm going to save it for a different day. Gestures. More gestures. Just taped these in. This is probably some printer paper. I really like Gun Girl. My sketchbook stinks, by the way. Yeah, it stinks so bad. I don't have spray water at my desk, so when I need to dilute paint, I use this really nasty Winter Candy Apple antibacterial hand spray somebody got me for the holidays that I absolutely hate and will not put on my hands. But the problem is now my sketchbook smells like it, so I can't even get away from the stink. These were my first concept designs for Failed Lady. I don't really like how any of them turned out. Some more mushroom thumbnails I wanted to try. I tried to learn to draw frogs. That video is on my channel. This was my warm-up sketch, and this was the sketch I did after the warm-up. Then I was trying to design my logo. This was done probably like closer to like here in the sketchbook. I was trying to design a cute little like stamp that I could make in Procreate to just put on my like traditional heart, like upload it to Procreate, put the stamp on it, and then move it out. So that's that. I did finish it. These were my bone anatomy studies I did on my channel not even that long ago. I do really like these pages. And I do think it really helped me to kind of like think about the human body a bit more. I really like it. My anatomy scale was not too far off. I think that I do need to, well, I don't need to, but I do draw hands a little bit longer than they're supposed to be. And looking at this now, I really wish the legs were a lot longer. This was a warm-up sketch. This was the actual sketch that I wanted to do. I never finished this Aphrodite piece. A whole page of Eris because I love her. Apparently. I guess I should like bring you guys closer. Look at Eris. Look how cute they are. They're adorable. I really like this one. And I really like this one. And this one. I think these three are my favorite. I wanted to redo that one from before without the pen. I might have did it better before, but I don't know. I don't know who that is. Here's a little Crollo doodle. I posted this one on my Instagram. These are some disability pieces I want to work on. This is my concept for the introduction panel for Trumpet and Wrinkled Peach to meet each other. I definitely like this one. I do not like these panels, so I'm going to redesign them. Vivian and Nameless. I don't know what this is about. I think I was trying to draw the Firekeeper. From Dark Souls if she like was a reverse. Like I wanted to draw her, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if she was like veiled everywhere else, and then I didn't bother giving her clothes. But I wanted to think like, what if her eyes were the only thing that like were out and that we could see and identify from her? And I don't think I actually got her long hair very well, so let's just add that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know where that one was going. I don't know where this one was going either. I don't have a lot of thoughts about this sketch. This kind of happened, you know, as things go. Don't like this one. I like the sketch I did after. This was a doodle of my Icarus concept, so it was super bad. Bad proportions, everything, but it was supposed to be like a vision board, right? The colors for the Icarus concept. So the goal would be to have the dark background and these like stark bright yellows and have a bit more of a like dual chrome piece. I was having a bad day, okay? That's it. This isn't a video, so maybe old me describes like the crisis I was having that day a bit better. I don't even know. Started doing environment studies because someone told me I suck at environments, and I realized I suck at environments when I started working on my comic. So I've been doing the environment studies pretty regularly. I have mostly moved them actually to like sticky notes and like scrap pieces of paper. I don't have an example right here, but like I have a lot of this paper, and I do a lot of like my doodle and stuff on here when I'm like busy. My partner borrowed my X-Acto knife, and I forgot I wanted to cut this out so I can finish it with, like, out of my sketchbook. So this is going to get removed eventually so I can finish it not in here because, well, I don't want to. I want it to be separate, like these. These are some style studies I was doing. Warm-ups, playing around, doodling. Really, honestly, my sketchbook is a place for me to be carefree and not think about the like pressures of art, which makes it weird because I almost feel like I feel more pressured when I have a lot of bad sketchbook spreads in a row. I'm like, wait, I'm a failure, panic, right? But I don't know. So mostly gestures. It's a lot of what my sketchbook ends up being. This is when I pulled out the crayons, okay? The crayons were great. This is Best Boy number 3, okay? You know why I use number 3? Because this is Best Boy number 1, and this is Best Boy number 2. But I was drawing meme cats. I eventually did go and ink in some doodles of my actual cats, you know. They're not very distinct. I really need to figure out how to, like, draw these cats in my style and, like, you know, make it more, like, obvious that they're like different cats, because like for now it's just like they're all the same thing, you know, just like longer and fatter. So I really need to figure out like how to add those distinguishing characteristics to the sketchbook. Not the sketchbook, sorry, I can't draw and talk at the same time, but it needed to happen with a compulsion. The lemur needed to be blue. My brain says so. But I I need to figure out how to like distinguish between my cats in these types of doodles. Really like this sketch. I'm really sad that it kind of ended up messed up. Really like how this proportion turned out. This is my cat Z. This is my like doodle of him. Like this is doodle world him. This is a more realistic him. I hate how this sketch turned out. I'm really sad. I have been trying to draw based on the silhouette of things versus like its actual like breaking it down. And it's been rough, but I'm getting better. But it's taking a long time. Side profiles. I had a side profile identity crisis is fine. Really like this sketch. I really like this one though. I'm really sad that I did marker on this side because you can't like enjoy the pen sketch anymore, really. Oh god, what did I do? I don't know what happened on this page. But I glued this in and I put stickers all over it. Oh, it's probably a bunch of eye studies. And then I just like glued this over because I didn't care. Okay. I hate how this sketch is turning out, so I just quit. Ooh, this is from Jika's art shop. 10% of her proceeds go to their animal rescue, Hera's Animal Shelter. So, I highly condone buying these stickers because it goes to an animal rescue in Turkey. I like these thumbnails. I don't like this. I kind of like her as a villain. I need to give her more life. More Eris doodles. I was struggling with this pose, so 30-second, well that's a thumbnail, 30-second, 1 minute, 5 minute, but it wasn't vibing. I was playing around with Trumpet of Death's character design. I got the critique just last night that I really need to work on like distinguishing the components of the outfits better from each other. Like creating more definitive breaks in the shapes that are being presented so that it's easier for viewers to be able to tell where and when things are happening and make it easier to like create fan art. Kind of like think about if you wanted to create fan art of my characters, can you really tell and decipher what's going on? So I don't know that I'm gonna like change her character design very much in terms of her like primary outfit, but I'm going to approach like the way I render it. So maybe the trumpet collar goes higher. We could see less of her face, but it creates a bit more of a like obvious, oh god, I did not think of the anatomy before I started this doodle. But like, so if the trumpet collar is going higher like the mushroom would actually be and like consuming everything except like maybe the eyeballs, right? Then her chest is more obviously pronounced and the corset will be a little bit less consumed and swallowed up. And then the sleeves can have like their starting point because the sleeves are, I'm thinking, connected to the collar. Like, I think that's how I want it to be. Or maybe they're like actually gonna like start right here or something. And then they puff out. So then like this is all like exposed skin and breaking that up a little bit better. Another way I'm thinking about doing it is making her pants low rise. I'm like ruining this sketch by explaining my character design shifts. Making these low rise, so this is like a like leotard underneath, and then we have these skin slits maybe. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach it, but I'm gonna figure it out a bit more. I took a cloth and I rubbed a bunch of like excess paint pen stuff all over the place. This was me thinking about her character design if instead of like big bulky pants, she had the anatomy super bad. It's fine. Big bulky pants. She had like a fishnet style stocking. That's not how it would go. With the way the leg is curved, the crosses would go this way. But if she had a more fishnet style stocking, that like resembled this and it was a leotard, which might also work. But at that point, I don't really know that she needs the corset, and it could just be a leotard. Like a bunny suit. But then it's kind of a bit more of a sexualized bunny girl then a court gesture, and I'm not really sure. Also, I'm thinking for my comic, when I am drawing Trumpet of Death kind of like far away, I am just going to do like, bam. Like that basically denotes that, right? Partially a joke, but you know how it goes. Some doodles. I'm sorry, Vander, you look awful in this, but I have more of these that I want to glue into my new sketchbook or put in the pocket for later. But when I was thinking about the mushroom creatures in my comic, I really think they would preserve humans before the mushrooms took hold of us, right? Before we fully evolved, those who failed to take in the mushroom DNA to survive, I really think they would preserve us for future studies. So I've been planning out those scenes, mushrooms, teapots. I revisited the plant aquatic girly from like literally 30 years ago. This one, just kind of redesigning the sketch, defining it a little bit better, feeling it out more. Maybe just doodles. I really like this sketch right here. I don't really love these ones though. These are more plannings for the like people who didn't survive. So this would be Wrinkled Peach, you know, dainty, effeminate, lacy stockings, heels, Trumpet of Death stomping all over things, big shoes. This was more of the silhouette stuff where I was trying to like do the silhouette first, but most of the time I ended up having to give up partway through, but I really did practice it in that video. I really like this thumbnail, these thumbnails. Some doodles. This was my experience on trazodone, which is a sleeping medication. It totally screwed me over. My stepbrother said he really enjoyed listening to me explain my extreme suffering on this medication. But this was a piece just documenting that experience for my own like medical help. This is me like doodling Jinx in different styles. And I wrote like to not remove this tape because this is like literally like really screwed right here. I did have to add in my own pocket, which kind of worked pretty well. But okay, yeah, that's just the bottom of the pocket. But for the most part, just some stickers and then like a sidekick design. And I guess I have the sticker down there. Whatever. Okay. So here is some doodles of Jace I did from Arcane. My 2025 art resolutions, I have a whole video on it. This is going to go in my new sketchbook, so that can go over there. There's a little self-portrait. This is the other monster girly I drew. Yeah, that was the other design. I bought this plushie. This is just a professor at my university's business card. I think I'm going to put this in my new sketchbook too because I really like it and I don't want to be without it. This was when I was really trying to draw a masculine man and I chose Halson. It did not go well. None of my attempts worked. These are the thumbnailings for when I was originally working on that comic spread and planning it. More Jace, more Jace, more Jace. Actually, I like this way more than I like these sketches of Jace. Nice. This is from when I made my clay calcifer drawing. I took like scratch paper out of like my date book, right, to like plan the base that I was going to like cut the clay around. She's really cute. Oh, I like her. Dang. I want to do more sketches like these ones. These are adorable. This was me planning the room for my my robot design I had to do for my 3D modeling class. But really, like, I don't think that the back of my sketchbook pocket really ended up particularly interesting. Oh, can I not shove these back in easily? Do I have to do it, like, more or less one by one? That sucks. I think it's because the pocket was made by an idiot, me, and I didn't really know what I was doing. Go in, please. Thank you. But, yeah. It was a struggle making this pocket not just suck, so I don't anticipate it will stand the test of time very well, but all it needs to do is hold the stuff that belongs with the sketchbook that I didn't glue into the sketchbook, right? And I taped it shut so that when I was like flopping my sketchbook around, it wouldn't tear this worse. So these can now be removed because I'm not going to be opening it regularly. This is a sticker of my own. This is a Redbubble sticker. And goodbye, Sketchbook 11. Like, it's over. It's done. It's gone. Wow. That's insane. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really have anything like to say about the sketchbook. I definitely was in a rough mental state artistically for a lot of the sketchbook, and so I'm optimistic that I will have more like fun insight for my next sketchbook tour, and that I'll have more drawings that I'm like, ah, I'm so excited. Look at it. But I can't make any promises. I've got this whole weird, wild job interview experience I want to talk about in a different video. Probably a video where I'm working on a digital piece of art that's just been really messing with my brain recently. So I'll definitely be talking about that more, but it's been really putting me in a like negative headspace artistically, and not in a like, oh, I got rejected kind of way, but in a like, I am getting comments from them that are very like weird and uncomfortable. But yeah, so I've just been in a not super good place this last year artistically, mentally, but I've been more impassioned than ever. I'm planning on participating in some game jams. I've been really liking my finished work a lot more recently as well. So I'm definitely feeling better. And so I think that even though I really like this sketchbook in retrospect, I'm hoping that my next sketchbook I will be more into the art I'm making as I'm making it, and it won't take a different, more distant perspective to be like, that was actually a lot better than I was telling myself it was, right? Those like positive vibe things, right? So I guess, what was your favorite page from my sketchbook? Do you have any thoughts or opinions? Do you like the Talens Sketchbook? Do you like my sketchbook overall? Do you have advice for making sure it doesn't literally disintegrate? And I suppose thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end of this video. If you liked what you saw, like it, dislike if you dislike it, subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I usually draw on my channel. I'm not really a like reviewing my stuff type of person. So next week is going to be different. I'm going to be decorating the big chungus and maybe doing some doodles, but other than that, I will be back to my regularly scheduled art videos very, very soon. And so stick around if you want to see it. Watch my last video or some of my other videos if you want to get a vibe for my usual rambling voiceover style. That's a bit more typical. And with all of this being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, wherever you are. And, well, bye-bye, I guess.